2, 1. Broadcasting from Storrs, Connecticut, the parking lot of Extreme Sports Network. The Sports Economy Show is on. I'm Bill, this is JP. We're here to pump you up today. The show, JP, is about the ESPN NFL Network merger.
Yeah.
And what it means to the fans. Because, right, the fans is all that matters. It wouldn't exist without the fans.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Oh, that's a fact. That is a fact. If the fans didn't show up and pay the ticket prices and pay the TV networks for the revenue that goes directly into the pockets of the owners who pay the players, that's where it all comes from. You and me.
Look, I get that.
Yeah.
But in the mind of the owners and the leagues, the substitute word for fans is suckers. Because we could charge a ton of money for these games, for the TV, right? For all the stuff on TV.
Yeah.
Because you know what? No matter how much we charge, they're still going to keep coming back. That's what it is for the NFL.
The suckers are coming back.
Right. They were like, can you believe this? Yeah.
People still pay to go to your Tennessee Titans games,
Yeah.
And all these other has-been teams. People still go.
I went to a Jacksonville game about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah. Pack. Yeah. The Jets. What reason have people had to go to a Jets game for the past 10 years?
Listen, I'm a Steelers fan. You're a Chiefs fan. We can say, hey, we're happy to have teams that have won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you were a Rams fan before.
They won a Super Bowl.
They won Super Bowls. And we're in other Super Bowls. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's when they were in St. Louis. Right?
Yes.
But I can't imagine being a Cleveland Browns fan and being under 50.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being
a Chicago Bear fan.
Well, at least the Bears. Well, the Bears are like the Mets version of the NFL. They won in '85, and they still hang on to it, just like us Mets fans who hang on to 1986. Like, we're in 2026.
All right, we got to get started with this program.
Yeah.
Enough nostalgia. We're old folks. That's the way that it is. We remember football in the 70s. Well, All right, so I have a lawyer statement that I'm going to read. I'm just going to read a little bit of paragraph because there's way too much here. And then I'm going to let you explain how it affects us, the fanatics.
Okay.
All right. ESPN is acquiring the NFL Network and other National Football League media assets, including the linear rights to the league's popular Red Zone channel, in a deal that will see the NFL get a 10% equity stake, key, in all ESPN's programming. 10% of everything ESPN earns goes to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN gets the NFL rights to broadcast all that, the Red Zone, which is a very popular thing, and a bunch of other stuff that they have. So, JP, how does that affect the fans being able to access it?
Well, that is to be determined as far as how it affects the fans, like the product and where you can find stuff and all that. But my personal opinion is it's like a long-term trade. It is, where both sides, benefit from it. So I'm going to give you a quick history lesson, right? When we were kids in the 80s, cable blew up.
Yeah.
NFL took advantage of it, as all sports did. NBA really took advantage of it. It brought the sports to another level because people had more access to it, right?
Yeah. Because before that, all you had was 3 channels.
That's right. But the NFL has always relied on broadcast television to be their main source for their games.
Yeah.
Well, broadcast television is struggling right now. So in the early 2000s, it was a trend for all of the major sports that end up with their own network: NBA network, tennis network, golf network, NFL network, MLB
Yeah.
network. So you get all these networks, and the thing that made them good was the fact that they were true to their sport. They gave you plenty of news, they were unbiased, they weren't showy. And the difference between them what and ESPN, which has always been the main source for sports, is the fact that ESPN is a show. Well,
Yeah.
over time, you and I have had many discussions about it. They stick with what works. They
Mm-hmm.
stick with the Yankees. They stick with the Dodgers. They stick with the Cowboys. They stick with the Steelers. They stick with whoever has won the Super Bowl. That's
Yeah.
what ESPN. You can watch those shows over and over and over. You will not see anyone talk about the Orlando Magic. You will not see anyone talk about even somebody that's relatively good. You know,
They're
you
not
could
talking
say
about Minnesota every day.
that's right. They're not talking about the Vikings,
Yeah.
and they're a good team,
Yeah.
right? They talk about the hit. They stick with the hits, and
Yeah.
that's what gives them the ratings. And the other stations don't do that. The NFL doesn't do. NFL Network doesn't do it, and thus they don't have the ratings and the promotability of ESPN. So what does the NFL do? They do this merger. They get 10% of the earnings of ESPN. They keep a main base that they could keep their games going, a major network, because it's not just ESPN. You got to remember it's ESPN/ABC.
Yeah.
It's a all around good merger. Now, how it affects people is one, if ESPN is going to take over the NFL network, uh, best believe they're not going to let the ship sink like it has been. So that means you could see more stuff like ESPN because that's the
Well,
stuff that's working.
I
You
will
know,
say this: we complain about ESPN. That's all they talk about is football. Well,
mm-hmm.
that's all they're going to talk about now is football.
And on
That's
ESPN, you
yeah.
best believe now that they've had the merger with the NFL,
Yeah.
it's going to be NFL all the time.
Yeah.
The NFL, they're basically just helping ESPN,
Yeah.
and they have a partner for life, and they just make money. It's sort
Yeah.
of like,
They did
you
to
know what
make
it's
money.
like? It's like a high class pimp. The NFL
NFL.
gives
Yeah.
ESPN, lets them buy a struggling network. Now they
Mm-hmm.
do get the red zone, which I don't think they will mess with for a
But
while.
in this lawyer note here, they don't get the entire red zone. There's another little phrase down here I'll read. It's like, oh.
What is
So,
that?
all right. So anyway, what does it say? The NFL network will be owned and operated by ESPN, which will control the network's linear and digital rights. The NFL network will integrate into ESPN's upcoming. Well, where's it at here? Oh, here we go. According to the joint statement, ESPN will own broad rights to Red Zone, including the trademark, and continue to distribute the channel to pay TV operators. I got something about that.
Yeah.
The NFL will continue to own, operate, and produce Red Zone channel and will keep the
Mm.
rights to distribute it digitally. So they didn't completely give up the red zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because that is worth something to them. The NFL network itself is kind of like you were saying, the ratings are going down, and ESPN needs more NFL content.
right. And here's the thing that none of the major sports channels have done. They have not done it well digitally.
Yeah.
ESPN is a digital machine. They
Mm-hmm.
have the ESPN app. They have if you are looking for college football, you go to that ESPN app. There's like damn 10 games on that app. Like small schools. They're
Yeah.
all there. They run that digital marketing.
Well,
ESPN is
I do know this. If I'm looking for a baseball game and just go to ESPN's website, their graphics are far and above any other websites. It
they
is
are
great.
they are well beyond where it's like NFL Network. You go there, they have a few NFL. They have a few posts and videos from old games, and a few stories from writers from the NFL. They don't have much. They don't have anything that people would desire, right?
Yeah.
If you want to check scores, you go to the NFL app. Okay. You want to go to the NFL Network to look at the channel on the app. Okay, but that's it. That's all they have. They're
Yeah.
not a big thing, and ESPN should help that. But again, once they get their hands in it, there are going to be some changes. Look, we work at TV. We
Yeah.
know
We know.
whenever somebody gets their hands, whenever there's some kind of merger, somebody gets burned. So right
Yeah.
now, it seems like everything is good, but that's to be seen what changes are going to
Yeah.
be made.
But it looks to me is the NFL is just unloading stuff that they don't really want to deal with, and they're just collecting 10% of all of ESPN. So I looks to me like they're the winner here, but
Yeah.
we shall see how it goes. But anyway,
Well,
the one thing yeah, go ahead.
I will say I do think the NFL is the winner, but at the same time, ESPN is broadcast television,
Yeah.
which even as successful as they are, their
Mm.
ratings have gone down a lot in the
Yeah.
last 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
So compared to 10 years ago, they probably have lost a third of their audience because of people cutting the cord.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it does give ESPN a lifeline to be associated with the NFL.
And like I say, it gives them content, which everybody needs content. So here's the deal with ESPN. They now have an app that you can buy standalone ESPN as a streaming service for $30 a month. Or you can buy an ESPN Fox Sports One bundle for $50 a month. So
Yeah.
what ESPN has decided is like, we're going to make it to where you don't have to have any kind of cable service. You can just get it on a streaming service like Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think will be a very popular thing.
Yeah. Anybody who knows me knows my saying is from the beginning, from the end of the summer until the end of the winter, I would need the NFL Network. From the beginning, from after March Madness, from the beginning of spring to the beginning of the fall, I need the MLB Network. And yet, it is because I feel like they are true to the game.
Yeah.
But how long will they be able to survive? I've actually heard rumors about the MLB making deals for with other stations as well, but they've yet to be determined.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Major League Baseball Network MLB is shopping that. Who knows? It may show up on TNT.
But I think this is probably the first step.
Yeah.
That it's just the NFL was the first major sport to do it, but it would not surprise me if other sports follow some kind of path in some way.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got, folks.
Yep.
It's been a great show. Remember, keep it true to the Sports Network. The Sports Economy Show is all that you need. You don't need the NFL Network. You don't need ESPN. You don't need Fox Sports One. You don't need none of this. Just stay tuned to me and JP. We'll keep you informed. All right. Remember, folks, like and subscribe because we need $1 gazillion. Because, we're going to start our own sports network app. I don't know what it'll be, but we'll start our own.
We get $1 gazillion. We're going to build it up, boy. We're going to build it up. We're gonna have our own cables.
That's right. We're going to be the gorilla in the room, not the
Yeah.
NFL. All right. So long, everybody.
So long, everybody.
Y'all come back now. Here